Good evening, Dhamma friends. Wish you all the blessings of the Noble Triple Gem. It is May 18, 2024, Saturday evening for us. In Sri Lanka, it's Sunday morning. We are going to begin this week Sutta studies. You are warmly welcome to this session. And this session is dedicated to learn the Dharma theoretically, and also the application of theory is also discussed into a certain extent. And I wish may these merits out of this program should be with you and your family, and the merits are dedicated to those family members and loved ones who passed away from us, and may they also be in peace as a power of these merits. With that in mind, we are going to begin the Sutta studies by paying respect to the Supreme Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. I pay my homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the fully enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Each moment of our life is important for us, because in each moment, aging and subject to being sick and also death could happen. So that being mindful about each moment provide us a great opportunity to cultivate kusala, which is necessary for final emancipation, so that we are safe and secure. So that each moment in our life is important. At the last moment of the Buddha's life, what he was telling to the whole community of monks and nuns and lay people, don't waste your time, be mindful, all conditions, things are impermanent, so that be mindful, heedful, ardent, and fully practice the Dhamma. So with this in mind, we are searching the Dharma through discourses, and the discourse we discuss today is Thula Vedalla Sutta from Majjhima Nikaya. We were able to discuss the background information of the discourse last week, and also put into discussion the first factor of the 8 factors of the Thula Vedalla Sutta. If you remember, I told you that there are 8 main sections in the sutta. Some are very detailed, some are details but not that very clear. When you read it, you find that some subtopics are not that clear, some are very easy to understand. So this sutta is therefore is a very important discourse in the entire Tripitaka, because Vedalla means question and answers. So the Pali word Vedalla means one asks question, the other answer to it. And under this, there are many other suttas like Sammaditthi and Mahavedalla Sutta. There are many other discourses that come under this category. So we were able to discuss the conversation between Dhammadinna Bhikkhuni and Visakha about Sakkaya Ditti and Upadana and so forth. Now today we are going to take the second important factor of Vedala Sutta, it is the Noble Eightfold Path. Let me get the discourse. Right after the self-identity, discussion about self-identity, Visakha moved on to the Noble Eightfold Path, asking question, because the very path that one has to practice to end Sakkayaditi is the Noble Eightfold Path. We have learned this important factor from various other sources. Whatever akusala is done with by practicing the Noble Eightfold Path. If you pay attention to the Sutta now, Visakha asked this question from Bhikkhuni Damadinna, Ayya, the path leading to the ending of self-identity, right? What is the path leading to the ending of the self-identity? For sure, the Noble Eightfold Path. So there we discussed the rising of Sakkayaditi and non-rising of Sakkayaditi, and move on to the directly Noble Eightfold Path. So what is the Noble Eightfold Path? Everyone knows the 8 factors: right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right samadhi or concentration. So the question the Visakha asked right after that is whether this Noble Eightfold Path conditioned or unconditioned. Sankata or asankata, the Pali term for condition. Condition means sankata. Unconditioned means asankata, whether this path is conditioned or unconditioned. The Noble Eightfold Path also, Visakha, is conditioned. It is something that we develop in our mind. Therefore, it is a conditional state. So, if you understand the both word condition and unconditioned, sankata and asankata, everything is made by causes and conditions are called sankata, and with regard to that, we know every material and immaterial things in this world is called sankata. Even in material, we have a kind of idea. That idea is also sankata, because after seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, and touching and thinking, we have created an idea. Based on sensory experiences, we create that particular idea, thought. Because therefore, they are sankata. Whatever is made by intentionally or unintentionally, they are called sankata. However, there is one asankata or unconditional state, that's called nirvana. Of course, to reach to nirvana, one has to follow the sankata magga, the Noble Eightfold Path. However, once you finish the practice on the Noble Eightfold Path and reach to the top level, you are moving from that level to a level where there is no condition. That's why Nibbana is called asankata. In elsewhere Anguttara Nikaya, asankata gamino maggo. What is asankata? Asankata is nirvana, and the asankata gamino magga is the Noble Eightfold Path. So Noble Eightfold Path is also defined as the magga for asankata, the path to nirvana. So this is condition, definitely. Sila, panya, if you, when we go down to the sutta, you can see that sila is being talked as aggregate, samadhi and panya. So the order of these 8 factors are different from what we see normally. So anyway, samadhi, according to Mahachattarya Sutta, samadhi should be the foremost or the first quality of for everyone or everything there. And based on samadhi, sila is developed, samadhi is developed, and panya itself is developed. So each and every conditional state in the Noble Eightfold Path help each other for the sake of development, so that they are sankhara, it's a formation, it's a creation, it's a intentionally developed thing, so that they are called sankata. So that is the answer given by Venerable Vikuni Dhammadinna. Now, next question is, now are the three aggregates included in the Noble Eightfold Path, or is the Noble Eightfold Path included in the three aggregates? Friends, this is one particular places where Silakkhanda, Samadhikhanda, Panyakkhanda by that name are being taught. It's very difficult to find suttas where three aggregates, Sila, Samadhi, Panya, are discussed. This is one of the places that these three things are discussed, and it is legitimate. Sometimes people ask question, why didn't the Buddha talk about the Sila, Samadhi and Panya in details like the other factors, like the other categorization? But this is also confirmed by the Buddha, because right after this conversation, Visakha, Dhammadinna itself asked Visakha to go to the Buddha and get the confirmation of what I said. And that was done, and Buddha recommended that these are true and up to the Dhamma, so that this is being accepted by the Buddha. So three aggregates. Now the question is, three aggregates, Sila, Samadhi and Panya, are in the Noble Eightfold Path, or Noble Eightfold Path is designed or developed on the basis of the three aggregates? The answer is three aggregates, also Visakha, are not included in the Noble Eightfold Path, but also Visakha in the Noble Eightfold Path that is included in the three aggregates. Thus, right speech, right action, right livelihood, these three are included in the aggregate of moral virtue. And right effort, right mindfulness, and right samadhi, they are included in the aggregate of samadhi. And then the right view and right intention or right thought, these two factors are included in the aggregate of wisdom. So this order is different with the usual way of categorization. First you see Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappa. Then you see the three pillars of Silakkhanda. Then you see the three factors of the Samadhi. But this way of categorization has given the priority for Sila, Samadhi and Panya. However, we know that Sila is always guided by Samadhi, otherwise it's not going to be right Sila. It could be wrong Sila. Without the presence of Samadhi, without the presence of other two factors according to Chattarisaka Sutta, Mahachattarisaka Sutta, such as mindfulness and right effort, Sila is going to be something not relevant to the Nibbana. So Sila is always been talked first in this categorization, Sila, Samadhi and Panya, but we know from the Dhamma experience and as well as the knowledge scattered in the entire Tripitaka that Panya should come to help Sila to be like that. Sile patittaya narosapanyo. Even in that stanza from Jata Sutta, Sapanyo, the wise person, Sile patittaya, establishes on Sila, on moral virtues. Not unwise person can do that. Not foolish person can do that. Not Bala can do that. Only the wise people. Sir means with wisdom. The person who is with type of wisdom, of course, establishes himself or herself on Sila. Sile patittaya narosapanyo. Then he developed the mind. Sile patittaya naro chittang panyancha bhavya. Not only concentration he develops or she develops, he also develops wisdom, panyancha bhavyang. That particular person is going to solve the sansaric problem. That is what the Jata Sutta, the stanza of the Jata Sutta clearly says. And that is being taken to the Shuddhimagga for its long journey. And Venerable Buddha Ghosa was able to put everything together in that book based on this particular stanza from Jata Sutta. So that is the category. That is the way that Noble Eightfold Path is developed. The three pillars, Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, are like this. On top of that, the eight qualities are constructed. Remember that it is Sankata, it is a Sankara, it is a Kusala Sankara. So you are creating that in your mind so that it is been something called Sankata. Now the discussion moves on to, actually we talked about this last time. It is about Visakha's intention in this discussion, in this dialogue. The Anagami Visakha wanted to know whether the Venerable Dhammadinna got into enlightenment. So the asking question from different topics shows that, because if somebody answers this question clearly, it means Dhamma Sakaccha, to know the mental state of the particular body. In Thana Sutta of Anguttara Nikaya, as I remember, the sutta is correct as I remember, but the place of the sutta is uncertain. But I think it's from Anguttara Nikaya 4th. In that particular sutta, Buddha tells us that if you want to know somebody's attainment to any spiritual stage, you can do 4 things. One of the thing is Sakaccha Panya Veditabo. We want to know somebody's attainment to any stage of enlightenment, even to a samadhi state. You better have a discussion not once, for a certain period of time under different topics of Dhamma. Then you are able to get a kind of clue about what kind of its mental state he or she is in. So following that, I think Visakha wanted to know the Dhamma experience of Dhammadinna at this stage, because she came from the monastery after several weeks. So he might thought that maybe I want to check her. I want to check her intention of the Dhamma and so forth. So that's why we can see that different topics are being discussed. However, they are related. The next area of this is the 4th one, is the Samma Samadhi, mental cultivation. Now, what is mental cultivation? It's called what is Samma Samadhi. What are the objects of mental cultivation? What are the requisites of mental cultivation? And what is the cultivation of Samadhi? So these are some of the questions Visakha asked together. Visakha, the one-pointedness of mind, chitta ekagata, is Samadhi. You see that a lot of people struggle with understanding what Samadhi is. Here there is a clear definition. What is Samadhi? Chitta ekagata. Chitta means the mind. Ekagata means mind comes to one particular thing, one particular state. For example, when you do breathing meditation, your mind is dealing with only with the breath. We can hear sounds. We can, have that kind of external things. We can feel them, but your primary focus is with the breath. That's called ekagata. Your mind comes to one particular. If I talk in Sinhala, එක පැත්තකට එකඟ වෙනවා onto particular things. ඒක අග්ග. So Samadhi means ekagata, chittas ekagata, one-pointedness. The other word is mental stillness. Mind is not going to not going to various experience of sound, taste, smell, pictures, and so forth, but it stays here. Still, it's not moving, it's not jumping. That kind of things could be expected when one attains to, samadhi or chittasa ekagrata. What are the objects of mental cultivation? Now we know that chittasa ekagrata or one-pointedness of mind is samadhi. So what are the requisites? Sorry, objects. What kind of things we should take to get that one-pointedness? The answer is four foundation of mindfulness. Satara Satipatthana are the nimitta or the particular object for samadhi. Here the Pali word is nimitta. Nimitta means what you call signs. So the mind need these nimitta or signs to be able to experience samadhi. So the Satara Satipatthana is the nimitta or the mental sign for samadhi. And the next question is, what are the requisites of mental cultivation? What are the requisites of samadhi? We can, from different discourses, we can say that all the 7 factors of the Noble Eightfold Path, are the requisites of samadhi. Samadhi Parikkara Sutta clearly says that. And Mahachattarika Sutta also is an entire explanation, a long explanation for about samadhi, and it tells how Arya Samma Samadhi is being achieved. So this is the answer. The 4 right effort, Sammapadana, Satara Sammapadana, are the requisites of samadhi. So without understanding or taking the 4 right effort, you cannot be mindful and you cannot be entering into samadhi. So now you see that Samma Samadhi is the result of the application of Samma Sati and Samma Vayama, and we know from various sources that Samadhi should be there. So now what is Mahachattarika Sutta is saying is true. Sammaditi Pubbangama, and then Sammaditi should be supported by the mindfulness, Sammasati, and Samma Vayama to gain the concentration into that level. So the prerequisite of Samadhi is 4 right effort. Trying to avoid the situation of akusala and try to remove the akusala that have already arisen, and trying to bring kusala and maintaining kusala. These are the 4 right effort. These are the requisites of samadhi. Then what is the cultivation of samadhi? Could you please tell me what is the cultivation of samadhi? The cultivation of samadhi is taking place when you practice Samma Sati, Samma Vayama, Sammaditi very much. In other words, samadhi is when samadhi is cultivated over and over, it's going to be a strong foundation for us. So you have to expect the growth of samadhi, which nothing can be broken. When you develop Samma Samadhi over and over, it's going to be a very normal thing for you. I mean that you can attain to Samma Samadhi even by will. Akichalabi, Akasiralabi, Nikamalabi hoti. Without too much work, without much trouble, you enter into Samadhi and you can experience it quickly. So that is what the Buddha said in many discourses when he talks about the experienced practitioner of samadhi. So now we move on to the other topic, Sankara. It's a very profound subject to discuss, but we try our best to discuss it because it's important for us. The word Sankara is associated with Sankata, the meaning is formation, whatever is made, depending on conditions, they are all come together to explain this particular word Sankara. Let's go with the formation. Uh, you come across this particular word in many places. In Panchakhanda, you come across Sankara as a aggregate. Then you come across this in the Patichampada formula, and then Sankara is being talked as a very profound subject alone, and so these are the things I remember right now. So Sankara, according to this particular explanation, could be actually yes. I here you see three kinds of Sankara, and when we come to three kinds of Sankara, three type of Sankara, we have two sets. One Sankara is made up of, is dual of Sankara, I would say, because it's all about punya, the good things you did, and then the bad things you did, akusala, punya, apunya, and then beyond the two level, punya and apunya, it's called aninja, imperturbable state. Sometimes people enter into samadhi state, and their state of samadhi is not changed, not disturbed by at all, because of the strength of the mind with that samadhi. They are called imperturbable states, aninjabi sankara. So with the word sankara, we can see that categorization, and here and also elsewhere in the Tripitaka, we see three kinds of sankara in this way: kaya sankara, vachi sankara, chitta, mano sankara. Here we find this categorization. Kaya sankara, as you know from Anapanasati, is it's a name for in and out breathing. So it's a name. It's a name given to in and out breathing. Why do we have this name for in and out breathing? We can see the answer for that later in the discourse. So, how many kinds of formation are there? Also, Visakha, there are three kinds of formation: bodily formation, Kaya Sankara; verbal formation, Vaji Sankara; and thought formation, Chitta Sankara. But what is bodily formation? What is verbal formation? What is thought formation? Also, Visakha, the in and out breath are bodily formation, and thinking and pondering, Vitaka Vichara, are verbal formation, and perception and feeling, Sanya Vedana, are thought formation. Visakha asked this question after that. Why are the in and out breathing bodily formation? Why this name is given for breathing? Why are thinking and pondering verbal formation? Why are perception and feeling thought formation? The answers are here. In and out breath, also Visakha, states bound up with the body. Therefore, they are called bodily formation. Kaya patipassada bhikkave assasa passasa. So bound with the body. So the in and out breathing is always connected with the physical body, lungs, and we breathe in, and the air goes to lungs, and then based on that energy, the blood pump is taking place, and oxygen. When we look at the situation scientifically, oxygen takes in and releases carbon dioxide, and that process is bound to the physical body. However, if the mind factor is leaving from this body, this particular physical aspect is not going to be either. Ayusmacha vinyanam yada kayan jahantimang. When the kaya sankara is leaving from the body, Vijnana, the ability to know, hear, taste, and so forth, is also gone. and the particular kind of warm feeling is also going from this body. It's another energy is going from this body. So we can see those from those statements that breathing is a part of physical body. It's not mental. It's not mental. Clearly, you can see that we never think and breathe in this when we talk to somebody. We never think about breathing. It is natural thing. It happens with this physical body. That's why it's called kaya sankara. The something that the body is made of. So the thinking and pondering are called vachi sankara. Then this is what Dhammadina says. Having first thought and pondered, then breaks out into speech. Therefore, thinking and pondering are verbal formation. Vitakka is thinking, and vichara is thinking over it again. Vichara. If you take the Pali terms, I think you understand better. Vitakka means type of thought arise in your mind, and then you take that particular state of thinking further to reanalyze, to revise, and that is called vichara. If you talk about vitakka vichara in with some details, where this vitakka vichara is taking place, you know the procedure of mind making. You have sensory objects for each senses, then Vijnana is coming into the subject, the process. These three call Phassa, contact, and they are in the contact, Vedana and Sanya arises, and what Vedana or Sanya, by if we take both, is called is taken into Vitarka. If you look at Madhupindika Sutta, yang vedeti tang sanjanati, yang sanjanati tang vitakketi. So that is how the Buddha, Venerable Sir explained, not the Buddha, Venerable Sir explained there. Whatever you feel, whatever you perceive, is being put into thinking. So then now you see where vitakka vichara is taking place in the process of creating an idea. So vitakka vichara always how thought and pondered, then breaks out into speech. Therefore, thinking and pondering are verbal formation. So with the word vachi sankara, we know that where words are being produced, it is in vitakka vichara. So it's an initial state of words in a simple term. Now we go to the next one, sanya vedana, fundamental of mind or the quality of mind. Actually, when you look at nama, 5 nama groups, vedana, sanya, chetana, passa manasikara. First two, vedana, sanya. So they are very fundamental quality of nama. Nama is the 5 components of my mind factor. Nama. So Vedana Sanya, this is how it says, having perception and feeling, they are mentally connected state bound with the mind. Therefore, perception and feeling are thought formation. So they are bound with the mind, and they are there to make the thought, so that they are called mano or chitta sankar. All right. So I think those who have not understood these 3 terms, kaya sankara, vachi sankara, and chitta mano sankara, understand the terms now. So the idea of asking the questions about 3 kinds of sankara, because Vishaka could have asked many questions about sankara, like how do you define sankara in aggregates, how do you define sankara in general term, So he didn't ask all these questions. He asked about the three kind of sankhara, and we do not see that Dhammadinna giving answer about other three kinds of sankhara: punyavi sankhara, apunyavi sankhara, and ananjavi sankhara. She was talking about the sankhara in a with mula. When you talk about the sankhara in a very subtle level, you have to talk about these three categorization: kaya sankhara, vachi sankhara, and chitta sankhara. They are not kusala or akusala. They are just state, neutral state. Kaya sankhara, vachi sankhara, and chitto mano sankhara. They are colorless state. But when you come to punyavi sankhara, apunyavi sankhara, and ananjavi sankhara, they are colorful state. They are way beyond of those mere basic states. So what I was trying to say is that Visakha asked questions about sankhara for a purpose. The purpose is, in my understanding, that he wants to know whether Bhikkhuni Dhammanina knows about the higher attainments. In Cheto Vimukti section, we have 9 attainments, 4 jhanas and 4 arupa jhanas, and the last one is Sanya Vedadinoda. If anyone is being able to talk about these attainments from experience, he could be either an Anagami or an Arahant. That is well known to Visakha. That's why Visakha is asking this question. Now, how does the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling occur? Okay, before that, I just want to ask this question. Do you understand this particular mental state by the title? Sanya Vedaita Nirodha. What does it mean? Sanya Vedaita. Vedaita means in Sinhala Vindinawa. You feel it. Sanya Vedaita. So, if anyone, Sanya means perception. Now, the normal state of human or other beings is you feel what you perceive. Then the craving arises, ignorance arises, upadana is taking place because you perceive what you feel, and what you feel you perceive, right? So what you are going to stop here is both. You stop the feeling of perception. You stop taking the perception into your mind as a gross, as mine, and so forth, and you are not going to feel it. You are not going to make anything out of it. Sanya Vedaita Nirodha. You stop you end the feeling of the cessation, feeling of the perception. Try to understand this. The very title says the particular thing. Actually, it is also said in the cessation of perception and feeling. It sounds like both perception and feelings are done. Of course, yes. But what you are doing is the Sanya Vedeta Nirodha. You stop the feeling about perception, because you cannot stop the aggregate of perception and feeling there. We look at, because even arahants have feeling as aggregate and then sanya as aggregate. What you do is here you stop or end the feeling about perception. That's what he does. So if you have any questions, you can ask about it later. So that is Sanya Vedaita Nirodha. And when one attains to Sanya Vedaita Nirodha, a monk who is in attaining the cessation of perception and feeling, it does not occur to him thus. So the one who attains to the Sanya Vedaita Nirodha, there is no this determination in his mind. There is no plan like this in his mind. I will attain the cessation of perception and feeling, or I'm attaining the cessation of perception and feeling, or I have attained the cessation of perception and feeling. Because why we do not have this particular idea? Because if you want to have an idea that I'm in this, I'm going to be like this, you should have both feeling and perception active. So when you are in the Sanya Vedeta Nirodha, and when you are about to attain to Sanya Vedeta Nirodha, what is happening there? Sanya Vedana are going to be going to sleep, in my understanding, because they are not completely gone from your life. They are going to completely sleep, so that there is no way for you to know where you are. It is a state where there is no any will, because in order to have will, in order to have a kind of idea, you have to have that perception and feeling fully active. But what is happening over there when you attain to? Both perception and feeling, sanya vedana, are going to completely sleep, so that you cannot think. Your ability of thinking is gone. Ability of activation of sanya vedana is gone. And you can see in the discourse further down that that the person who attained to the sanya vedana nirodha is quite similar to a dead body. But it's not a dead body because of other conditions. We can discuss them. So rather, his mind has been so cultivated before that it naturally gets into that state. See, you have gathered the prerequisites of Sanya Vedeta Nirodha, so that at entering into Sanya Vedeta Nirodha is happening naturally. But here in the discourse, it is said that you should look into the lifespan of you. Whether I have more than 7 days lifespan, then they attain to Sanya Vedeta Nirodha. Otherwise, they are not going to. So there are certain conditions they consider when they attain to Sanya Vedeta Nirodha. If they don't have life for 7 days, they are not going to attain. So well before this attainment, Sanya Vedeta Nirodha, what we experience is Neva Sanya, Na Sanya. It's a state where you are confused about your status of I, me, and particular I. Sanya Vedeta, sorry, Neva Sanya, Na Sanyayatana. So you are confused about the perception of I, me, and myself. If you go back a little bit, Akinchanyayatana. So your main state of thinking is there is nothing. You are in the state of or sphere of nothingness. With that experience, you are moving to the next state called Nevasanya Nasanyayatana. It's a state where you are not sure about whether there is sanya or not. But when you move from that state to sanya Vedeta, you are sanya, perception, but it is moving naturally, because when you get into those 8 experiences or attainments, you have all the prerequisites to get into. If we have to add here that Noble Eightfold Path has has been cultivated into a greater extent. That's why he or she is moving or going to the state of Sanya Vedeta Nirodha. In other words, it is said that not only Arahants and Anagami can attain to this state of mental cultivation, because it's a very higher state. And if somebody attain to that state without those state, when he comes back, he would be attaining to at least to a Anagami state, because his mind associate only Animita, Appanihita, Sunyata. That is been discussed in the discourse too. We can read them. So after getting out of the Sanya Vedita Nirodha, your mind is completely associating Animitta, Appanihita, Sunyata. So there are qualities of Nirvana, so that you cannot stay in a normal state. Either you attain to Arahant or Ship or Anagami state, if not the first one. So we'll read it. When a monk is attaining cessation of perception and feeling, which state in first? Bodily formation, out of three: bodily formation, verbal formation, and thought formation. So when one attain to the perception, cessation of perception and feeling, which state of these three is going to end first? See, that's why the one who attain to the Sanya Vedita Nirodha is like a dead person. So all the three sankharas are gone. What are the state? Bodily formation, verbal formation, thought formation, kaya sankara, vachi sankara, and chitto mano sankara. When a monk is attaining to this particular state, the verbal formation end first, and then bodily formation, and at last the thought formation. If you look at the where they end, when you attain to the second jhana, avitakkang avicharang, vivekajang samadhidang pītisukang pataman jhanang upasampajja. So when you go from first to the second, you end vitakka vichara. That's why we put avitakka vichara. Remove without vitakka vichara, we are in the second jhana. It means in the second, when you attain to the second jhana from the first, you are stopping or ending the vitakka vichara. Then when you go from according to the state, next quality that is going to be away is bodily formation, which is kaya sankara. Kaya sankara is stopped when, as I remember, I have to look into the discourse. As I remember, you can correct me if I am wrong. When you attain to fourth jhana, as I remember, I have to look at the discourse. And of course, it is visible clearly that Sanya Vedana is going to be away from, they are subsided, they are suspended when you attain to Sanya Vedana Nirodha. Let's read through. First, as you see, first quality verbal formation, and how does emergence from the attainment of the cessation of perception and feeling occur? How one can come out of Sanya Vedana Nirodha? There you don't have that particular thought, like idea that I will emerge from this attainment. I am emerging. I have emerged. No, you are not planning for it. When you are in the Sanya Vedana Nirodha, you cannot have that particular idea, because perception and feeling are gone. So without perception and feeling, you cannot think. So that there is no such thing, but naturally it happens when a person is emerging from the Sanya Vedana Nirodha. It happens naturally. It happens. So why? He or she attained to the state because of the completion of the condition for it, but we don't see that he or she make kind of idea about it. And after the time period one can stay in that 7 days, the emerging from Sanya Vedana Nirodha is also taking place naturally. Then the question is, when a person is emerging from the cessation of perception and feeling, which states come first? It is verbal formation, or bodily formation, or thought formation. The answer is, when somebody coming out of this particular jhana, attainment, the verbal formation is coming first, and the second one is uh, uh, bodily formation, and the last one is, sorry, first one is perception and feeling, because when you are coming out, you are going to get the thing you lost last. So the perception and feeling, you are taking it first, and then bodily formation at last, verbal formation. Now, higher, when a monk has emerged from the attainment of cessation of perception and feeling, how many kinds of contacts touch him? This is very important. When a monk has emerged from the sanya vede, his mind contacts with only three things: emptiness, empty contact, sunyata passa, singleness contact, animitta passa, and what do you call appanita patta, undirected contact. Actually, they are synonyms, anicca, dukkha, anatta. So the total, so animitta means, sunyata means, uh, so when you come out of this particular jhana, you see that everything is empty from self. So that sunyata passa is there. Animitta passa, there is no any gross nature. You don't feel that anything is compact, uh, device, so something like that. They are all signless. They are all, that's why animitta. There is no gross nimitta. This person, that person, this table. You see those names, but what you understand there is they are all uh, without signs. That's why it's called animitta passa. Then appanita, there is nothing to you know enjoy there. They are all something state, normal state for him or her. So these are the three things that he or she contact. When a monk has emerged from the attainment of perception and feeling, to what does his mind bend? To what does it slope? To what does it tend? The answer is mind of a monk who has emerged from the attainment of perception and feeling also Vishaka bends to solitude, slope to solitude, and tend to solitude. This could be easily understood even from our normal experiences, like when you do puja, when you do some meditation, when you do a very nice dham discussion, your mind is serene. Even after the program, even after the meditation, even after the chanting, your mind stays in that state for a certain period of time, because that power of your mind with samadhi or solitude is slowly evaporating from you, or slowly going away from you. So it doesn't happen quickly. So we can understand that your mind right after this particular attainment is always bent towards viveka, solitude. Now, how many kinds of feeling are there? Now, the different topics of the so we before we move on to that, it is better for us to have a discussion, because this is one of the difficult subjects to discuss and make sense. Sanya, Vedita, Nirodha, and Sankara, they are all connected. So I found from many discussion that these are some of the areas that many people do not clearly understand. So that we'll try to have a discussion, good discussion, and let them collect some ideas for their understanding. So if you have anything to say, please take your time. There anyone who would like to share something? If not, we'll go to. Okay, I can see two hands. So I don't know who raised hand first. I think it could be Dr. Piallo Vimal, whoever, you can unmute and talk. It's fine.
Okay, thank you, Bante. Bante, is Sakkaya and Sakkaya Ditti same almost?
No, Sakkaya is different from Ditti. Sakkaya is the word given to clearly here the 5 aggregates. Rupakaya, I cannot remember which discourse is discussed. So Satkaya is a designation or another name for Panchakhanda. Rupakaya, Vedanakaya, Sanyakaya, Sankarakaya, Vinyanakaya. So you are taking these 5 as I, me and myself is a ditti.
So what is clinging to the 5 aggregates then? Isn't the same thing? Taking as I, me and myself?
Yeah, it's upadana. The very word when we say that kind of things we use is upadana, and upadana is also ditti. Ditti upadana is being discussed.
So basically, Sakkaya and Sakkaya Ditti both same?
No, different.
In the English version, I was using Bhikkhu Tanissaro's translation.
Yeah.
In both places, the same term is being used, self-identification, for Sakkaya Ditti as well as Sakkaya.
But I don't know why this happened. But Sakkaya, this is the case. I can see that. Kaya, the neutral thing is Kaya, right? Neutral, Rupakaya, Vedanakaya, Sanyakaya, Sankarakaya, Vinyanakaya. And if we take like that, they are innocent. They are nothing to do with any type of kilesa. But when you put Sat, means self-view. You are right. Satkaya. So then it is quite identical with Ditti, because when you take Rupa as yours, because with Sat means mine. Okay, I got the point. When you put Sat in front of Kaya, it means Rupa is mine, Vedana is mine, Sanya is mine, and Sankara is mine, and Vinyan is mine. Then it is of course a Ditti. So in that case, of course, right, he is right. Sakkaya Ditti and is same as Satkaya. Both are the same.
Even in the Pali version, I see the same thing.
Even in the Pali version, because I tend to forget that particular Sat in front of Kaya. So when you come to Kaya, means that is neutral Rupakaya, Vedanakaya, Sanyakaya, Sankarakaya, Vinyanakaya. But when you put Sat in front of Kaya, you have added a mind factor for that. So it is also Ditti.
So when you say, when you say Pancha Upadanaskandha, it is actually taking the aggregates as I, me, and myself.
Yeah, indeed.
The same thing is appearing in the Sakkaya Ditti as well.
That's right.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Because Upadana is also Ditti. And Ditti is also Upadana, in other words. So that's why that emphasis over there in the first factor, that if anyone understands Sakkaya Ditti and do away with that, is a kind of Sakka, Tanha Nirodha. And the Sakkaya Nirodha is quite similar to Tanha Nirodha. That is being discussed in the first category in this particular sutta, because Sakkaya and Sakkaya Ditti are quite similar. And when you have Upadana, same thing is, because Sakkaya Ditti can have all these Upadana, namely Attavada Silabhata Upadana, and Kamupadana could be always there with the Upadana. Yes, Dr.
When the Visakha Upasaka raised the issue of Sakkaya Ditti, the answer was the same thing. The clinging to the aggregates.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you.
Yes, you unmute and you are still muted.
Okay, Bante. So today's discussion is this. It's interesting about the Sanya Veda Nirodha and also the Sankara, the three types of Sankara. Now, when it comes, so I think you mentioned the subject of Sankara in general was not discussed, or Punyabhi Sankara, Punyabhikara was not discussed. But I think this particular thing about the Kaya Sankara, Vachi, and Chitta, I think it's discussed because it is the part of Sankara which is in relation to the meditation, like Bhavana, because Kaya Sanya, Kaya Sankara, breathing in and out breathing. So that is a Kaya Sankara, the signal from the body of the Kaya. Then Vachi is Vitaka Vichara, again part of the first jhana, which has the what Vitaka Vichara, I guess. And the second jhana, Vitaka Vichara, is gone. And then Sanya Vedana, I guess the Priti Sukha Ekagrata comes in. So I think this is discuss particularly the three types here in relation to the subject of meditation, or like the path, rather than the general discussion of Sankara.
Yeah, true. Understand. Agreed.
Yeah.
Because here Visaka wanted to discuss something higher related to meditation. So it is obvious, as you said, that he doesn't want to get definition of Sankar and what Sankar is, where Sankar is mentioned. So these are some of the questions that could be related to a general discussion. So Visaka wanted to know the state attainment of Dhammadinna in the Noble Eightfold Path, so that this categorization of Sankara is subtle. Yeah, very true.
And when you come to the Sanya Vedi Nirodha, is it now? It's usually in the Sutra text, if I can recall right, it's normally as the last after the Arupa Jhanas. It's Sanya Vedi Nirodha. I think that's how it's described in most Sutra texts, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So it doesn't mean, there is no guarantee. I mean, probably people without even insight have attained this Sanya Veda Nirodha. It doesn't mean that you're Anagami itself. I mean, unless you get rid of the defilements, the fetters one by one, at least you get rid of the 5 fetters, or at least the 10 fetters altogether, that Arahat. But this is a mind state where you are in a like very close to shunyata. I mean, or maybe like in the cusp of shunyata, or cusp of animita, apanita, or shunyata samadhi, or shunyata. Probably, but it's. I mean, when you come out of it, that's a contact you come out of it. I guess, right? Does it mean?
Yeah, that's true. You know, we have no evidences in the Tripitaka, as you suggested, that somebody has attained to Anagami and enter into this and so on. Actually, there are less evidences and factors. Therefore, the commentators and sub-commentators and scholars on this regard try to come to a position that somebody who could attain to this state, very subtle state of samadhi, he could be a very highly enlightened person. We could to say this. There are evidences that only arhants attain to sanya vedetinoda and stay 7 days, and right after they go on pindapata and so forth. This factor has helped them to come to this conclusion that this could only be done by somebody who has experienced a lot on Cheto Vimutti and attain to stages of enlightenment. In the other factor for them to come to this conclusion is that his mind or her mind associate only sunyata, animita, apanhita. So these are very subtle. Yeah. So his mind always deal with these 3 aspects of noble dharma when he comes out of. So if somebody stays in Sunyata, Appanita, and Animita Appanita, there is no signs of craving at all. So when we are away from craving completely for a certain period of time, there are chances of getting into either a state of Anagami or Arhan. So you are right. There are no Sutta evidences for this.
Are these like absolute necessary? I think only the four jhanas are absolute necessary. The Arupa jhanas are like playground for the Arahats and Anagamis just to be in these states and enjoy different states of mind, test it out. But I mean, once you get into the four jhanas, I think that's all. With the last one being equanimity or upekha. I think you get into the inside states, and that's probably all you need. But obviously, you can get into these states, these Arupa jhana states, but it's not necessary. It's not compulsory for you to have Arupa jhanas.
That's the word.
Yeah,
yes.
These are
for the enlightenment. They are not compulsory. Yes.
Yeah.
So there are Panya Vimutta who never experience Sanya Vedeti Nirodha or the other attainments. But they have gone through the full enlightenment just by completing the Noble Eightfold Path. So
but they have the four jhanas though.
Four jhanas are required. Four jhanas are required. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. The other question is Apanita. Now, when you talk about Apanita, is it the word Pranita? Like in Sinhalese, we call it Pranita is tasteful or Pranita. Is it the opposite of
That's right. That's right. You know, Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta. These are the three characteristics of everything. So Anicca, you know, what are the three other Sunyata, Animitta, Sunyata, Appanita. That's how it comes.
Yeah.
So Animitta. So when with Anicca, you don't get any Animitta. You don't get any signs. That means you are not grasping anything because everything is impermanent. Because
so you're not attending to any signs, right? You when the signs come, whatever the perception, you're not attending to that. You just go back.
Right.
Yeah.
Then when everything is impermanent, we know that they are also dukkha. So that you are not going to take anything pleasant, anything pleasant or unpleasant. You are not tasting. It's quite similar to nibbida, right? Then when you know that everything is impermanent and subject to unsatisfactoriness, you cannot find you in that. Therefore, non-self. When there is no, you know, when you find that there is no self, it means sunyata. Three things from this side and three things from this side, they are always matching together.
But this shunyata is not equivalent to nibbana, right? This is the different state of like a samadhi state. Yeah. But when they talk about shunyatang, pranitang, etang, panitang, but this is not the same thing you're talking about. That's a nibbana state of mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Bhante.
You're welcome. So any other questions that came to your mind?
Bhante, something to be added about the background story of this particular Upasaka, whereas in the commentary maybe is mentioned as a non-returner. But I don't see that in the Sutta text. In the English versions, he is mentioned as a lay follower or a lay disciple. And in the Pali translation is Atako Visako Upasako. No mention about as a non-returner like the Chitta Gahapati and the Nakulapitu.
Yeah. True.
Is it right?
You're true. They are the story of Visakha at what happened to Visakha was all in the commentary. They are not in the Sutta.
In the commentary. Yeah, that's right.
In the commentary, yes. In the Sutta, what you have is the Dhamma discussion between both, and commentarial work is about transferring that incident. You know, it's just like a report. You know, when you write a report, you take the compulsory compulsory necessary thing into the report, and if somebody if somebody requests from you further details, then you are going to say this and that. So commentary work is like that, and it is said in the commentary itself, and also the tradition, that those monks who wrote commentaries were well known about those stories from generation to generation, because they came to know about those stories from generations to generation. So that at some point with some stories we are confused, with some stories we are quite clear about the Dhammas, because at that time the society is different, and the way people thought is different from today, and some stories are easily put into fabrication by some scholars, by some people. But I think the story in the commentary in many cases supported us to understand the sutta, the Dhamma elements of the sutta. Sometimes it is better for us to read the entire discourse without looking at the commentary, because we are in a situation to project, to take that whole knowledge without thinking about the Dhamma in the sutta with the sutta references. If you read the commentary first and go to the sutta, so
Yes,
it could work either way around. So basically I haven't read the entire commentary, but it has been in us for generations, because the Sri Lanka is a country where commentary is being highly appreciated, and the knowledge about the Dhamma came to us from mixed with sutta and also commentary. So even without reading commentaries, you are with that knowledge, because it has been mixed with the tradition. So I think if you read the discourses, there are many suttas that you can understand the very Dhamma without commentaries. But at some point, we have to look at the commentary just to know what it is, how commentator is explaining this, and so forth. So with regard to your concern, yes, in sutta sometimes tell stories. If you look at the Kakachupama Sutta, for example, that story of Videhika and Kali, it is discussed. And Venerable Punna's story is discussed in the sutta itself. And then if you go to Gatikara Sutta, the what is happening with Jyotipala and Gatikara is discussed. And then in some discourses like that, we have the story itself in the discourse. But in some suttas where just the Dhamma is this, if you look at Dhatu Vibhanga Sutta, so you have some stories there. But how he became a monk, how he became how he self-ordained, and how he came to the place where the Buddha met, they are not in the sutta. So I think there are such things in the commentary and also the sutta.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, and Rainona, you can.
Yeah. When you read the sutta, you can understand from the behavior. He listens to Buddha's teachings and come home, and the way he behaved and the questions he asks. From Dhammadinna, we can understand that he should have gained to a very high level of purification.
Yeah, that's true. That's also valid, very important point, because as an average person, you cannot ask these questions because they are all about, because the way Visak asks questions shows us that he knows about three kind of sankara, and how how one attains to that higher state, and what is sakkaya and what is not sakkaya, and so he knows those factors of Dhamma very much. We can understand that from his questions.
Only so in the Nibbana state he made a mistake.
Yeah,
up to
actually
that level.
it is. Yeah. So I think rather than a mistake, he wants to know what exactly the state of enlightenment the Dhammadinna was, because uh, no, that's what I think. Because when you ask the question, what is nirvana? It's
The
all about
opposite.
yeah, opposite of nirvana, and then what is after, what does nirvana is conditioned. Then the Dhammadinna says you are going beyond the level of questioning.
Yeah.
Hereafter we cannot question, because nibbana is a state away from questioning. So you better go to the Buddha and get the clarification. This is what I can tell. So from that, I think Visakha understood that Dhammadinna, his former wife, was an arahant. Is an arahant.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we are in the middle of the Chulavedanta Sutta. We were able to discuss a very important factor. Next week we will take Vedana, feeling, and we try to go as much as we can next week. Oh, there is a thing also in next week. It is 25th, which is the day that many people come to temple to organize Vesak celebration next day, which is Sunday 26th. And if everything is okay during the day, I would be doing the discussion. If not, I won't be. So I could decide it uh, either Friday or Saturday. So expect to have the discussion. But if you do get a notice that it is cancelled, that is because of the Vesak celebration on 26th. Okay, having said that, I just want to let you go for your other activities. It is a great discussion. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for your contribution. As I said at the very beginning, today is 18, and it is a day that UN recognize Vesak is a universal, day for celebration. And we are in the month of May, where the Buddha was born, attained to great enlightenment and pass away. It could be today who he did that, at least one of these. So that think about the Buddha and keep your mind illuminated with the Buddha qualities, and Shraddha and other qualities would be there for your well-being. And those merits we collect from this kind of thinking would be with you and all the departed friends and family members. And not only we, but also they should benefit from this, and may everyone attain nirvana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.